Hey guys, and welcome to the Musings of Maverick channel. I'm your host Maverick, and today I'm going to be talking about the anime of summer 2019, or more specifically, what anime I'm going to be watching for this season. Now, I really should have made this video a week ago, but life, work kind of got in the way, so still, even though I've already uploaded some videos of this season's anime, I'm still doing this out of a matter of principle, right? We still gotta do what we gotta do. So anyways, if you guys are already, subscribers or viewers of my channel, you know what to expect, you know what kind of content I make. If you guys are new around here, feel free to poke around a little bit. I wouldn't say I'm a hype reactor, I'm more of a reviewer kind of guy, even though I do both reactions and reviews. But, just check out some of my work, and then you'll see my style of doing things, if you will. So, without further ado, let's just get into the anime of this season. Alrighty, so we should probably go through the carryovers from last season first, right? And so first up on the list would be Kimetsu no Yaiba. Now, I've been loving this series so far. Its animation is absolutely stellar. The art direction, the artwork, the cinematography, and also the sound as well, both in the theme songs and as well as the actual sound effects or the background music during the episode itself. Now, the story, I'm still kind of on the fence about. I feel like we're not really getting anywhere yet, right? We still haven't gotten into really the overall story of, the overall, how should I say, the overarching plot, if you will. Like, there is a backstory to it, but where is it going? We still don't know. We've only just met some of Tanjiro, the protagonist's new companions, but in any case, it's a good one, right? And I'm definitely going to be enjoying this for this season as well. Although in the animation department, it might have some strong competition from this season as well. Of course, last season there's Attack on Titan, but then again, the art style is a little bit different, right? But in any case, great one, great anime. Definitely going to continue watching this. And speaking of carryovers, the other carryover from last season would be Carole Tuesday, the music anime by the legendary Watanabe, right? So this one, well, I have to say I love music anime, and so I really wanted to love this as well. I still like this, don't get me wrong. I do like that they're getting a lot of different music producers, music writers onto this show. They're writing original songs for them. But, however, I will say that I feel like the music in this anime so far hasn't really demonstrated any outstandingness. Sure, there were a few exceptional songs, but for a majority of them, they felt just kind of there, if you will, not specifically memorable. But I feel like the biggest problem I have with this anime so far is that the characters themselves aren't really that relatable, either through their own interactions with each other or to us as viewers, right? The world, the entire setting of it is very compelling. It's just that I feel like there's a disconnect between both the characters themselves and as well as with the viewers. So hopefully this is something that will be fixed within the second season of the, well, I guess you can say second season, the second core of the anime, if you will. And next up, we have Dr. Stone. So this one is actually a work that I've already read. Its original is a manga, and it's absolutely one of my favorite mangas that's come out through, I guess, this year? Or is it last year? In recent times, anyways. If you guys read the synopsis of it, it basically is, far into the future where humanity is basically wiped out, save for some few select people, right? I'm not going to go into spoilers, but anyways, they need to work to rebuild civilization. Now, if you guys have ever seen some of those, primitive technology channels on YouTube, it is sort of similar to that kind of situation, except on steroids. So they're trying to use scientific knowledge to recreate humanity, to recreate everything that we know about this current world. So it is based on science. It's based on science. However, it being an anime, it does do a lot of hand-waving on some fairly incredible stuff, right? But that doesn't, it's still rooted in science, if you will. It's still possible, except that they accelerate the process by a whole lot. Stuff that normally should have taken thousands or hundreds of years, it's just done like that, right? So, but anyways, I it is definitely a very compelling work. I've really enjoyed the manga. There is a little bit of a lull in the middle, but I don't think that we're gonna get that for this season of Doctor Stone. However, the main problem with me watching this is actually in that, well, first of all, I've already read the manga, so it's not really blind for me, and so for one thing, I can't really be shocked by the events, so the blind reaction part is a no-go, and then for the other part, because I already know what's going to happen, a lot of my, theory crafting and whatnot is also useless as well. So even though I really do like this series, I'm not sure if I am going to make an ongoing series with this. I'll watch the first few episodes to see if it's a good format. If not, well, no matter. I can just watch it on my own, right? So, anyways, but I do highly recommend this series. The animation studio, as far as I know, is TM Entertainment, I believe. They're veterans in the industry, and from the PV, as you can see, it seems to be relatively well produced. So, I'm sure that they can make a pretty good adaptation for this one as well. Next up on the list, we have Vinland Saga. So this series is often compared to Berserk in that it's more darker, it features a lot more blood and gore, that kind of violence, and it has the subject matter of Vikings, right? Now, personally, I'm meh towards blood and gore and whatnot. I'm not repulsed by it, but I don't specifically go out of my way to seek it either. And Vikings are also kind of meh for me. However, the thing is, I am kind of a history nerd as well, and as far as I can tell, this work is based on his history, if you will. Vinland Saga, I'm assuming, is a play on the Vinland Sagas, which are a bunch of stories passed down through oral tradition in the Norse people, detailing their adventures into Vinland, which is mostly commonly believed to be North America, right? So I am kind of curious how they're going to adapt these kinds of historical stuff into the anime, or into the work as a whole. Also, even though a lot of people compare it to Berserk, I also hear a lot of people saying that compared to Berserk, it features a lot more in regards to the strategy and tactical aspects. So it's not really purely just hack and slash, if you will. So, it's got this going for it. And by the way, another big plus for it is that it's being animated by Wit Studio. Now, Wit Studio, as you might know, is the studio behind Attack on Titan as well. So we can pretty much guarantee that this is going to be a very well animated anime. And it's probably going to feature a lot of very cool action scenes as well. So, what the hell, let's just see how it goes, right? So, I will be watching this for this season as well. Next up on our list would be Enn Enn no Shouboutai, otherwise known in the West as Fire Force. So this one, compared to Vinland Saga of the previous anime, its source material isn't quite as well regarded. It's a manga. I haven't heard of it, and I don't think its rating is particularly high either. However, this anime does have a few things going for it. Number one is that the animation studio that's making it is actually David Productions, right? The same studio that brought us all the seasons of JoJo. And Cells at Work as well. So just by that alone should give you an idea of how its animation is going to go. But it gets better, right? The director for this is actually also a sort of like supporting director for works such as Madoka Magica, as well as a lot of the different seasons or, different works in regards to the Monogatari series. So, these two things combined should give you an idea of how the animation, how the direction of this anime is going to go. And indeed, looking at its promotional video, it looks great, right? This definitely seems like an anime that can stand on its own just by the action sequences alone. So whether or not the story is any good, well, it remains to be seen, right? But at least, even if it's just for some, brainless enjoyment of the action, I feel like that's probably reason enough to watch this anime. Now, the funny thing for me is that actually I only knew about this anime because, well, of course I'm doing my research for this season, right? And when I saw that there was an anime that had the subject of firefighters, I was like, oh, I gotta watch this, right? This is a novel, new subject. As it turns out, I guess you can say they're firefighters, but it has a sci-fi element to it, right? It has an action element to it. It's not really about a bunch of firefighters going out and fighting fires. Now, that's kind of disappointing, I guess. But, well, it seems that this other product seems interesting enough as well, anyways. So, let's just see how this one turns out. And the next one might come as a surprise to some of you people. Indeed, the isekai that I'm going to be watching for this season is Maou-sama Retry. So some people will probably give me crap saying that, you know, out of all the isekais for this season, why are you choosing the one that looks to be the least well produced and the least original, right? So this one, first of all, I've already done a video on it, the first episode, so you guys can just go check that out if you want. I've read the source material, well, sorry, not the web novel or light novel, but I've read the manga for this, and I absolutely enjoy it. This is an isekai that, you know, it's definitely not serious at all. I don't feel like there's a big overarching backstory for it. There probably is one, the author probably has one, but it's not really important. That doesn't really affect my enjoyment of the series, which I believe the strongest point about this series is in its humor. It's completely over the top, outlandish, and illogical humor, right? So even though my channel focuses a lot on breaking down, on analysis, that kind of stuff, for this series, really, I gotta say, you just gotta turn off your brain and enjoy it for what it is. It's one that's, just view it as a comedy, and you'll gain much better enjoyment that way, if you will. So, and also the first episode, I keep on having to repeat this, but the first episode really doesn't really show how this show is going to go at all. The first episode is really relatively tame, and it's generic in a lot of ways, right? Now, however, as the other characters start to appear, then you'll start to understand, okay, this is not your generic isekai anime. It has some unique things going for it, but as I said, the most important part is in its humor. So, this is one that I will be watching as well, and hopefully, so again, even though I do like the original work, I do have some questions in regards to the animation studio and the director behind it. But we'll see, right? We'll see. And so, rounding out our new anime for this season is Kanata no Astra, aka Astra Lost in Space. So again, this one, the first episode, I've already watched, it's on my channel, so you guys can just go watch that if you want to. The reason I'm doing this series in particular is because it's a space adventure anime, right? Not space mecha, space adventure. And I really enjoy these kinds of more exploration style of space anime. I feel like it's really a genre that has fewer and fewer works coming out. The last real space adventure anime that I watched I really liked would be Moletsu Pirates, aka Bodacious Space Pirates. Now, even though the premise of that was kind of ridiculous and over the top, it was actually rooted in hard science, right? They explained a lot of the detailed workings about space travel, about various systems and mechanics and whatnot, and that I enjoyed very much. Kanata no Astra is actually not a hard science anime. It's more in the, you know, this is just how it works in the future, you know, that kind of anime. It's not fixated on trying to explain these matters to us. It has its own story, a story of exploration and whatnot that it wants to tell. At least that's what I got from the first episode so far. But it's, you know, it's intriguing enough, right? And like I said, there's been a drought of quality space adventure anime, so hopefully this one won't suck as well. I mean, it has all the makings and all the potential of being a good anime. It's got a good studio behind it, a good director, a good staff, the voice actors are all, you know, fairly well-known veterans within the industry. You know, I have a good feeling about this, right? But again, we shall see. We shall see. Alrighty, so that was all the new stuff that I'm watching for this season. Now, of course, you probably notice some notable exclusions from this season. More specifically, probably all the, different isekais that are popping up for this season, right? I'm gonna be honest with you, for a lot of them, I really don't have any specific interest in regards to their premise. They're just not that compelling to me, just based on the description that they have, right? The only anime that I was kind of on the fence about would be Danmachi. Now, Danmachi I've actually seen, I've actually read before, and I think I would say I kind of like that work. I've already read the manga for it, but I eventually did kind of, drop it or put it on hiatus due to me, just finding some other more compelling work for me. So in the end, I decided it is what it is. I'm not going to force myself to watch something that I maybe might not enjoy as much, right? And more importantly, I want to make out this time because I want to watch more anime of previous seasons or more classic works, right? So right now my channel is currently, or I am currently watching Steins Gate, and I'm planning to watch all these subsequent sequels to it as well. And that in itself is probably going to occupy a slot for this entire season, right? However, I'm going to try something this time. I'm going to try to allow you guys to decide what my other, old anime I should watch. I've been meaning to do something like this, except that, there's participation problems and whatnot, but I feel like as my channel is nearing 1,000 subscribers, now might be the good time to try and test the waters, right? Eventually I want to make this sort of like a recurring thing so you guys can, sort of help me decide what to watch next, right? And I am very curious as to what you guys want me to watch as well, how it fits my style, or if you want to know my kind of perspective in regards to these different animes. Now, for this first time, I'm thinking of maybe using just my planning to watch anime on my my anime list. That's a mouthful, right? But the details, I'll try to work it out, and so stay tuned for that video as well. So I guess that about concludes it. Let me know what you think of my selection. Like I said, I do want to know what you guys want me to watch. Do you feel like there's something that specifically fits my style or whatnot? And stay tuned for the polling announcement as well. So this is Mavry, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.